So welcome to the Chapter 6 Akuma fail set. I'm going to do things a little bit differently this chapter. I'm going to start with a couple minutes where I just kind of talk about gameplay and the part of the chapter I'm working on. And then I'm going to have my segment where I kind of actually make it through the first part that took me a really long time for Chapter 6. And then I'll kind of have a collection of these like fails and deaths. And a lot of those are going to be like gameplay mechanics and things like that. You know, just sometimes it's just a major user error, but a lot of the time it's gameplay mechanics. So, quick heads up, I've started Akuma over. I wasn't happy with my green gel distribution, and you can check out Chapter 1 and hear all about that. A funny story. I thought my PlayStation froze. That's why the screen's black. I've done this chapter enough. I should know better, but I thought it froze. I forgot that I just need to turn my lantern on so I can continue the game. So anyways, Chapter 6. Let's talk about that. It's very, very hard. It's very long, and there's a lot of fighting. And once I started over and I went through chapters 1 through 5, I noticed I was a much better player about how I used my stuff, and based on kind of the decisions I decided to start over from. I no longer rely on the pistol for headshots. That was something that worked for me on survival mode, but it does not work on Akuma. I can't aim as fast as they move, so I needed something different for me. And my answer became the shotgun for the spread, just to knock people down, and flash bolts because they are ridiculously overpowered. I've also been holding off watching like YouTube videos and going to like GameFAQs or anything like that to get help, because one of the things I've been trying to do is one of the things I like to do is I like to like try to do it myself, and then once I'm done, I'll go look and see how crappy my plans were, because there's some pretty creative stuff out there. I'm pretty sure my strategies are not like that great, but they're mine and they work for me. Sometimes. Sometimes I have to start over the whole game with a new strategy, but whatever. So let's talk a little bit about Chapter 6. Chapter 6 is, like I said, it's long. It's going to expose a lot of the problems of the gameplay mechanics for this game. Like the letterboxing that I've talked about and the camera, sometimes you can't see if you even have the ability to interact with something, like for, say, example, throwing down a match. And like I've talked about before, throwing down matches, you know, sometimes they miss, sometimes they don't ignite. You're going to see all that kind of crap. And you're going to see all those things that in Akuma mode that you just cannot stand. Like, I'm dead, but I'm actually a dead monster. But right before I died, I started my grab animation. So I'm going to teleport grab while on fire and kill you. Or, hey, you knocked me down, but I'm going to flail my arms and kill you, even though you're almost done with the chapter. So a lot of crap like that. This first part of the chapter, you're going to be doing 2 rooms. They're very small rooms. They're talking like 15 by 15 foot rooms. Not a lot of maneuverability. Massive amount of guys. They're all, of course, very fast. And there's no checkpoint in between both rooms. So it's like, good luck. I'm pretty sure that this is probably going to be the more difficult thing on Akuma. I'm kind of worried about the boss on this chapter. And maybe the last chapter with I guess the 2 keepers, but we'll see how that goes. So we're going to dive right into the actual time I do win. So the moment I start, there's a hatchet flying at my head. You'll see I barely sidestepped left to avoid it. And this is a pretty decent run. I'm making pretty good use of stuff. You can see I got denied on my match. He got up too fast, so I had to drop him back down, which means I had to waste 2 shells on him. I put that match down, he was already back up. So you can see how horrible that is. I don't know how I dodged that grab. That should have killed me, but... And I'm getting to a dangerous position pushing that barrel over there, but I've already whipped out flash bolts at this point because I feel kind of trapped and cornered. So I'm starting to take down guys. I want to kind of get this barrel out of the way because I'm using shotgun shells, so I'm afraid. I'm lucky that didn't kill me, but then I make pretty good use of a flaming barrel and kick it around the room and like ignite some other people. I didn't know you could do that until this area, so... So my whole technique now is I'm just going to use... I'm trying to make sure that I use the flash bolts when there's like 3 to 4. I'm not sure why I stealthed that guy. I guess I thought I could match him. And here's a great example. So I drop a match and it kills him and the furthest guy away from him, but not the bitch standing right on top of him. So I'm kind of like, well, what the hell, dude? But whatever. So I think pretty much I'm done at this point. The door's open. I'm going to grab my shells and I'm out. So it worked. I only had to use like a couple of shotgun shells and like I think 3 flash bolts. But that room is ridiculously difficult. I mean, it made it look kind of easy, but there's not a lot of room, and you clip on everything. You'll get caught on that table, you'll get caught on the barrels, you get caught on Joseph, you get caught on enemies on the ground that are trying to get up. And it's just like you have such limited maneuverability. So this stage is totally like unfair to you. So the second part, you know, they give you some more ammo, like explosive bolts, and I'm like, yeah, who the hell's gonna use those in this room? I mean, I guess you could, but I would feel like I'd shoot myself. But I'm starting with the shotgun because I want to make better use of my bolts, and I kind of want to use some of the shotgun ammo. And that was a beautiful barrel shot, because you'll notice that all three died. And I barely dodged that flaming fucker who was trying to come grab me. So at this point, I'm kind of lucky, man. I'm looking around. There ain't shit in the room, so I'm like, I got a little bit of a break. And this was actually a luck run. So there's three. You'll notice I didn't get the fat guy. I'm not sure why, but I have a tendency to miss him with flash bolts. But I have to pop him twice because he just gets up too damn fast. And I guess I wasn't smart enough to go burn him. But right now, I think I'm at a point where all I gotta do is keep him kind of in the center and drop flash bolts. And you can see that dude is covered in glass. And that's one thing I really like about the game is, like, I'm halfway through the game, and they're still using the enemies I saw from the very beginning. And they're still scary, and they're still terrifying. Even when they can't kill you in one hit, they're still kind of like, you know, nerve-wracking and things. And they're all different. Like, you know, I think in this room right now, there's a big fat dude covered in glass. Some, like, farmer people. Somebody's got an axe in their head, and there's like this priest, old lady there. No, there's no priest yet, but there's an old lady. There's also like these larger guys that are priests, and you could even see a nun because you're in a church. So I kind of knifed that guy because if you noticed, every time I shoot a flash bolt, I wait till they move, and then I drop that flash bolt, but they can almost get to me in that distance. So that was probably the perfect timing because they hadn't moved yet. But if you wait till them to start running, they'll get on top of you. So I think I got about, I know I got like one flash bolt left that I got to use tops. So I'm just waiting. I hear the door click, and I shit my pants and run out the door. I'm so happy that that part's done. Because to me, that means I have a pretty good feeling I can actually finish Akumu with this kind of setup. So let's talk about what happens when things go wrong. So those kind of deaths where I die in the first, I don't know, 4 seconds of the chapter, or part 1, part 1 of this chapter, that happens a lot. If you miss that shotgun blast or you don't dodge left or something, you just drop dead. So it happens, you know. So that was another time where I couldn't see the match icon because it didn't show up on my screen, but I knew it was there. And there's your, you know, standard death. You weren't paying attention to your ammo, and you started shooting before you reloaded, and you died because of it. So here's an interesting one. I think sometimes they move so fast. Look at that. She was on top of me. She hits me so hard, the camera had to readjust. But before she hit me, the other guy was already stood up. I just turned to shoot. Now, why did I die there? Because asshole swung his arms while he was on the ground and killed me instantly. Why did I die there? Because I missed that shotgun blast. So you can see how fast I'm just dying over and over and over. It's difficult because there's just so many opportunities, and a lot of those are luck. Like, you know, I take the guy down, he swings his arm, well, I die. There's some bad luck. Dropped a match. Nothing happened. I had to shoot the guy with a shotgun again. Drop a match. Guess what? He swung his arms and got me. So this is one where I think I decided to try to move because I was tired of dying early on. But I think I get that girl with a match. Even though there's no icon, I know to spam it. Or at least I try to. That gets me killed sometimes, but it usually doesn't. So I'm like shooting this guy in the knee, and obviously I am much better at shooting people in the knees than I am in the head. That or I'm a better player. Maybe a little bit of both, but I don't go for headshots. So, that was kind of a waste of a barrel, but whatever. So this is a part where it's like, you know, it's kind of hard because you don't want to waste stuff. That was kind of a dumb thing to shoot that barrel, even though it turned out in my advantage. Here's where I learned, if they're on fire and they do their grab animation, you're dead. I always thought that enemies on fire were dead. I was wrong. So even though he actually is dead, I can't do any more damage to him, and he's going to die. You see that hatchet, right? He can still grab me, and if his grab animation goes, it'll teleport you in and kill you, so. But that's life. See, another time, the match icon, it would have shown if it wasn't for the letterboxing. But, so you can see that, like, I switch a lot between, you know, if there's one guy in the room, I'll use the pistol and try to just drop him and light him on fire. If there's multiple guys, I love hitting them with the axe when they get in the window. That's just like so satisfying. It's because all that goo flies on you. You're like, yeah. But You know, if there's a lot of guys, I'll use a shotgun, or if I'm in panic mode, I just keep firing the shotgun. I'm desperately trying to get that barrel to work, but apparently it's not, so I switch over to flash bolts. So my strategy's not really changed that much. It's shotgun to keep people away from me. If they go down, I try to burn them. Of course, I try to use the barrels, but it's a little too close that one, so me and Pillsbury Doughboy there go down in flames together. So, here's another, you see he had his hatchet. That was the first time I think I shot first. But it doesn't really matter, because I'm going to be dead in like 40 seconds. But, you see, there's a match. They get up pretty quick, but I think I grabbed the axe for no reason, because I think I'm going for the barrel, but... So one of the things I try to do is, like, I was trying to, like, use the barrels on the window, you know, and again, love the axe thing covered in glue. And I try to use the barrels the best I can, but this was before I was like, okay, you know what, screw it, just spam flash bolts. So, they gave you some stuff in the room, which is cool, and they give you a flash bolt, kind of like a big fucking hint. Use flash bolts, jackass. But, you can see that barrel, like how it just, like, clips into me, and I'm trying to get away from it. See, I was trying to pick up the ammo, but I ended up kicking the barrel instead, so. Now, this is hilarious. You see that? I ran up to him to drop that match, and he just swings on his way up. I'm dead. Gotta start over. So, the shit like that happens all the time. It's so ridiculous. I don't know what the hell I'm thinking. I guess I figured they're all stunned, so I'll just grab me some gel. I need to upgrade this flash bolts again, so I can get another 3 seconds, I guess. But so at this point, I've got my plan down. I know how to group them up a little bit better. So this is the last time I'm going to show this floor. Everything else will be the next floor. But you can see I've got them perfectly synchronized flash chants. I've made a flash mob. It's awesome. It's like they're all synchronized. I loved it. This is so awesome to me. So we leave behind the dancing group, and at this point you do have some freedom to take a breather. Mostly it's like build more flash bolts. You can see I have an okay number of parts. And reload all your guns. And guess who didn't reload all their guns? They just went down and started grabbing stuff. They're an idiot. So I do get a freeze arrow, and I'm like, I almost shot Joseph with explosive one. But I put one on that table, because I know somebody's dropping down on there, and grab all my other stuff. I'm like, I think it's a shotgun. Oh well, whatever. So I switched the flash bolts, and this is what I do with this room. You can see there's already somebody in the room, and he was like, he fell right on top of me. And that's really cool, there's a nun right there, so that's kind of, I think that's kind of cool. Like I said, I really like the variety of the monsters. Even though they're all the basic monsters, they get different weapons, and they have different varieties, and they kind of act a little bit differently too. They all don't just rush you. There's just that fat dude scared the crap out of me because he landed like right in front of me. But at this point, it's kind of like Flashbolt Central, because you can see there's like 5 to 6 guys in this room, and I haven't learned yet that just leave them. Just let them group. You stay on one side of the room, they stay on the other side, and just flash bolt them. Don't do anything else. It's just not worth the risk, because the best part is just to get past this damn part. Like, there's really no point in worrying about anything. If you just use flash bolts, you're only going to waste parts, so you're not going to waste a lot of ammo, you know? You'll still have your shotgun shells and grenades and things, and there's no point in wasting that stuff. So, and that's why you always load your weapons before you come into an area. Because I did not, and he killed me because I had to reload. So I jumped forward a little bit because I want to show one more death. I actually do this pretty good. I could have used that barrel better, but I do things pretty well. A lot of close calls. I'm doing pretty good with the flash bolts. Everything's going great, and I'm ruined. Like, this is one of those things where, like, it dies because I'm so busy trying to keep myself alive, I'm not paying attention to my partner, even though I'm doing a pretty good job of holding this room down. So you see, I've got them all on one side of the room. Watch how fast they turn. See, I fired it when they started moving. They almost have covered the distance. So the lesson learned is you've got to keep in mind, like, when in this room, it's better to kind of just count down your flash bolts. Though that was a beautiful match. That's what I think matches should always do. Just, like, these guys should be combusting, like, constantly. So there's, like, one guy. Not a big deal. I fired the flash bolt. That was stupid. And I don't know why I did it, but I guess I just wasn't thinking. I was already thinking, oh my god, I'm done. I made it. I've got this. Another good, okay match, but I mean, like, a lot of close calls here, right? So I run back to Joseph. I'm not paying attention to energy. He starts, I don't know what that guy did, but see, look at that. I could have swore I was dead, but I live, so I'm like, oh, I got this. I just now realized, no, Joseph, no! I run over, he's dead. He actually had almost opened the door. So that's Chapter 6, Part 1. I'll be doing the next part soon, so thanks for watching.